Once upon a time, in the annals of history, there existed a love affair so tumultuous, so consuming, that it split an entire nation into two irreconcilable halves. This romantic entanglement was not merely a private matter. It gripped the public imagination and tore at the very fabric of governance, society, and convention. Today, we delve deep into the story of a love affair that did not just make waves, but created seismic shifts, leaving cultural and political landmarks in its wake. Our tale begins in the majestic courts of England, at a time when the monarchy was not just a symbol, but a powerful entity woven into every aspect of life. Here was King Edward VIII, a man of charm and charisma who ruled over the British Empire. He ascended the throne in January 1936, a time of great global tension and social change. But his reign would be marked by something more personal, more scandalous than any political maneuvering. It was his heart, not his head, that came to define his rule, or rather, his abdication. Enter Wallis Simpson, an American socialite, a woman of intelligence, elegance, and controversy. Twice divorced, Wallis was the embodiment of an independent spirit, a stark contrast to the role expected of women, particularly those who might consort with royalty. Her relationship with Edward was no mere dalliance. It was a profound connection that would challenge the conventions of the time. It was a love that both defied the social norms and tested the bounds of royal duty. The relationship between Edward and Wallis was met with fierce resistance from various quarters. The Church of England, to which the king was deeply tied, firmly opposed his relationship with a divorced woman. The British government, led by Prime Minister Stanley Baldwin, expressed grave concerns. The British public, the subjects of an empire, were divided. Was love a sufficient reason to challenge and potentially upend the constitutional order? For some, Edward's devotion was romantic and admirable. For others, it was reckless and selfish. As the romance grew, it transcended personal boundaries, becoming a public spectacle and a political dilemma. Edward's love for Wallis was so profound that he was willing to make the ultimate sacrifice. On December 11, 1936, in an unprecedented and dramatic move, Edward abdicated the throne. In his abdication speech, he famously declared that he found it impossible to carry the heavy burden of responsibility and to discharge his duties as king without the woman he loved by his side. Thus, Edward became the only British monarch to voluntarily relinquish the throne for a matter of the heart. Edward's decision to abdicate in favor of love was not without consequence. His brother, George VI, ascended the throne, ushering in a new era that would eventually lead to the reign of Queen Elizabeth II. The monarchy, though resilient, had to reckon with the fact that a king had chosen personal happiness over royal duty, a decision that would reverberate through generations. The love story of Edward and Wallis did not end with the abdication. They married in 1937, becoming the Duke and Duchess of Windsor, and lived much of their lives in relative exile, moving from one place to another, often welcomed and yet always somewhat apart from the world they once dominated. The couple became symbols of a modern fairy tale, one where the conventional ending of happily ever after was replaced with a life of complexities and constant adaptation. Yet their story raises timeless questions about love, duty, and sacrifice. Is love a private matter when it involves figures of national importance? Should personal happiness ever outweigh public responsibility? And, perhaps most intriguingly, what does it mean to love in the face of overwhelming opposition? As we conclude this exploration, we are reminded that history often reflects the personal as much as the political. The story of Edward and Wallis is a testament to the enduring power of love, a force capable of altering the course of nations and redefining the parameters of personal fulfillment. It is a story that continues to resonate, reminding us that, in the grand tapestry of history, even kings and queens are not immune to the dictates of the heart. And so, the love affair that split a nation in two remains not just a historical event, but an eternal narrative about the choices we make and the legacy we leave behind.